Good morning, Friday. So I'm never entirely sure if we're actually live. The This program tells me that we're live. I think before we are actually live. I think there's some lag, which could be the program, could be my laptop, could be my connection, could be anything. So anyway, I always pause a little bit after it says that. So if you see me sitting here doing nothing, I'm probably just waiting to see what happens. So, all right. So here we are at Friday, end of the week. Hopefully it was a good one for you. Yeah. A little snow this week. I don't think next week we're going to have snow, but who knows? I mean, anything's possible, right? I think it's the Super Bowl this weekend for people that are interested in that. We, for years, had a big Super Bowl party. Not so much, I think, for the people that like to watch the Super Bowl, but just for something to do that weekend. I wasn't that interested in the Super Bowl. I guess my husband would watch it. Some people would watch it, but then other people would do other things. So my kids were younger, and we would always have a bunch of people. And then one year we had a bunch of people, and it really got out of hand. Like the kids were running wild, and people weren't watching their kids, and it was kind of a crazy thing. So so we scaled back, and now, of course, this year we don't do anything. But yeah, we've now that the kids are older and it's not so much of a thing. We're sort of a group now. um, and then other years, I don't know. This has always been kind of a interesting weekend. So other years, my husband and I used to always go somewhere over Super Bowl weekend because, oddly enough, it seemed to frequently be warmer than most of February, and also not as much traffic, and it was easy to get a place to stay and things. I guess a lot of people like to stay home and watch the game, so it just made for a good weekend to travel. So we may do that again in the future. But that was a long time ago, way before kids. So I don't know. We may get back to that, but not this year. This year we're just going to hang out and uh, eat snacks, I guess. I don't know. My husband usually makes chili, which is good. All right. So let's talk a little bit about energy. So I was reading a little article about energy today, which I thought was interesting. And um, so everybody has this, well, not everybody, but let's say a lot of different cultures, a lot of different philosophies and things have, some theory about the energy of the universe and how that kind of works. Um, and then, you know, that kind of meshes then with some of our scientific knowledge of energy and how that moves and um, how it can be transformed, right? So, as we know this from scientific sources that energy is um, it's always there, right? It can change forms, it can be um, turned from one thing to another, but it's it remains, right? It is not destroyed, nor is it really created. It's maybe just redirected. So, um, in this sense, in yoga, we talk about this the ultimate sort of source and the beginning and the end of energy. Um, and this is that source that we are all connected to. Um, it is a creative source, but it's not creative in the sense of like making something from scratch. It's creating from energy that's already there, um, and redistributing it. Right? So um, it's like a river and water, right? So we talk about how water is. Um, it doesn't really disappear; it changes form, right? So it can um, evaporate, right, and it can turn into steam. It can be frozen into ice. Sometimes it's liquid. Sometimes um, it it never um, it doesn't disappear. It just maybe changes a form that we can't see anymore. So this extends then also to the energy of other things, right? Um, when people pass away, their energy, that which animates them, their body, disappears, but it doesn't go into nothing, right? It changes form, just as everything else on Earth changes form. Which is why I think it's very it's sad for me. It makes me feel sad when I hear people talking about how there's nothing after life, because there's no evidence of that in looking around at the natural world. I mean, if you want to be purely scientific about it, um, nothing else disappears. It changes form. So why would not we as well? Um, so, in this sense, we are always going back to the source, um, that is creating different forms, different shapes, different um, versions, and then sending things back out again. Um, so, energy and trying to tap into that is a good thing, right? And we try to do this with meditation, some of the forms that we do, like Yoga Nidra. So, Yoga Nidra, this idea of sort of unconscious rest in between sleep and awareness, is supposed to be one of the most sort of energizing forms of um, being. Right? So, being in a state of Yoga Nidra is actually better for you in terms of energy than sleeping, right? Because so for sleeping, right, there's a lot of biological functions going on. Your body, and I mean, there's a lot of information about this online if you're interested about what happens when you're sleeping. Um, there's no real evidence about what's happening to your, you know, beyond your body. But our body is actually quite active in terms of cleaning house when we're sleeping, which is why it is so detrimental to your body um, to go without sleep, right? We all know we can go without sleep. And we've all probably done that, right? Had times in our life when we were not sleeping very much, or even stretches of time when we weren't sleeping at all. Um, we can do that. We can function like that for a certain amount of time. Um, our awareness isn't what suffers, it's the body, right? The body needs that time to recharge. Um, with Yoga Nidra, the body is not really given that opportunity to recharge. It is kind of the awareness that is recharging. So that's kind of fun. That's a um, that's a good thing to do if your body is not really needing rest, but you feel like your consciousness does, right? Uh, because sometimes it is over, you're not really overtaxed with the body, you're overtaxed with the mind and with the consciousness. So Yoga Nidra is a form of going back to the source, right? Going back to this place of energy and drawing some of that energy in, exchanging, right? Your over over awareness, um, getting back into the flow and um, settling things down. So, uh, yoga nidra, meditation, all of these are going back, trying to go back to this larger energy, um, and uh, jumping in. When I think of this, like a visual for me, is that it's always it's always that commercial um, for Nestea when the person falls into the pool and they're super hot and they fall into the pool and they feel really refreshed. And that to me is the visual that I associate with these practices. Um, it's a it's a really an ecstatic thing. It's you feel so good, um, and it's so refreshing, and so it it is like just a complete change. It's not the shock to your system that jumping into a cold pool might be, but that sense of relief is similar. Um, so when you need some energy, when you're feeling run down, when you're feeling um, like you're just at the end of your rope with that, seeking out things like meditation, even pranayama, right? Pranayama is another way to kind of move the energy in the body. So, what we call breath is really energy, right? So, prana is breath, but also it's that breath of life. It's beyond just simply the oxygen and carbon dioxide that we are exchanging. It's um, the something that sort of lights up that internal um, life force, right? And we get the life force from that which is around us. In that sense, too, we want to be um, careful and cautious of our influences, right? Because we are absorbing life force um, from the people around us um, to some extent, right? So if you have ever, and if you are like aware, and some people are more aware of other people's energy than some people are. Some people are um, pretty closed in, right? They really aren't um, aware of what other people are feeling or thinking. Um, and we all have the capacity for this. Some people have developed this more. Some people just naturally have that sensation. But a lot of us don't. A lot of us are just kind of like we're just trying to be aware of our own thing. We aren't really, you know, until something really blows up. Um, a good way to develop this, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, it can be difficult if you uh, are really out there all the time, right? And just like out there checking out what everybody's feeling and thinking. Um, if you and there are some people who are like people that are naturally like this is what they call empaths, right? People who just kind of naturally absorb that from other people. And they need to be careful that they don't um, absorb it to a great extent, and that they're very careful if you do feel like you have empathic tendencies. You want to be really careful where you go and what you do because um, you are very susceptible to the influence of the people around you, right? And there are ways to kind of step back from that, which is a good thing. You know, it's a good thing to practice some of those things. But um, all of us, right? have this, and we call it, intuition. We call it a lot of different things. Um, it's that kind of sixth sense that we have that tells us when something is not right, or someone is sad or upset, or there's a situation going on that even though no one's told you about it, you kind of understand. Children are very good at this, right? Children, before they develop um, this sense of protection, self-protection, um, or they're and a lot of times kids are disciplined out of this behavior, right? So they may be very empathetic as a child, um, but we interpret it as them being nosy or being um, a busybody or something, and they're told not to do that. Don't don't say that. Don't be involved. That sort of thing. And in that sense, you are shutting them down. You're shutting down um, their ability and their tendency to really reach out to other people. And so I don't think it's a great thing when people do that. I think um, kids have a natural desire to know what's going on, to be aware what's going on. If you think about it with kids, um, they are very dependent, right? They're dependent on being aware. And this for them is a coping mechanism, it's a survival mechanism, right? When you are dependent on someone else for everything, you need to know what's going on. You can't just like be blissfully unaware. Um, Now, that's not to say a lot of kids aren't blissfully unaware. Many of them are, but we can understand where this comes from, where this ability or tendency. Right? So, um, energy is out there all the time. Right? We can use it for good. We can use it for evil. Right? We can abuse that tendency or that knowledge that we have to manipulate people. Some people do that. Some people will play upon other people's emotions, and that is, I would say, maybe the very one of the very worst things that you can do, um, to take knowledge that you have of someone and turn that against them. You are really taking this ability and this gift that we've been given and using it in a very negative way. So we never want to do that. That's completely out of ahimsa, right? That is directly doing some harm to somebody. Um, and even worse, right? You doing harm with sort of privileged information, the information that the universe is sharing with you for good, for your benefit, not for your um, poor, you know, usage, right? So be careful with your energy, right? Not wasting it, not using it in a negative way. Um, when we have these insights and these moments of understanding, see them for what they are, which is a gift, right? It's something that you can use to help someone or to help yourself, but not in a selfish way, right? In a way that is good for everyone. Um, you might be able to bridge um, a gap, right? Where some people, you understand why someone's acting some way and someone else doesn't. Well, maybe you can help them. Maybe you can bring some understanding to that situation. I think as yogis and as people who are aware of some of these currents that are moving around, it is it's important that we are willing to share some of that when we can, um, and to help people um, with their relationships, with their understanding of situations and things. Um, but do this in a kind way. Do this in a way that makes sense to you. You may understand that sometimes that information will not will not be appreciated, or um, people may reject that information. So you can go with that as you will. But just be aware, right? There's a whole lot of information out there, and a lot of stuff going on that is beyond what is spoken and what is visible directly. Um, and that is one that's one way, one usage for energy, is to kind of sense the currents and the movements. All right. So, yeah, energy. Use it wisely. Recharge it when you need to. Jump in the pool and keep up your practice. All right. So sitting up tall, relax and breathe. Head down toward the chest. Moving around, big circle. One way and then the other. Let's walk the hands out in front. And then squeeze shoulders back. Gaze up. And lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind, sit up tall, take a deep breath and twist. Back to center, switch sides. Back to center. Let's bring the arms up overhead. We're going to interlace the fingers. Take a deep breath. Moving to the right. Back up, moving left. Back up. Set the gaze high and then lean back a little. And then hands down. So all this talking about Yoga Nidra, I think we're going to do some Yoga Nidra. That seems like a good thing for today. Working on the energy, getting back into the body. Let's bring the legs out in front. Point and flex the feet. So when we're talking also about energy and the vibration of energy, we can talk a little bit about food, right? So when we talk about food, and then just rotate the feet. In Ayurvedic sense, food is one of three things. You have sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. right? So sattvic is, I hesitate to say the best, but it's what they would consider the highest form of vibration, right? Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Sattvic food is food in its most basic form and as sort of natural as can be. We're going to fold forward here. So fruit, and the least damage possible, right? So an apple sort of that freely falls from the tree would be the ultimate sort of sattvic food, right? Sattvic food is freely given. It doesn't damage the plant or the animal. Animal products are a little kind of a crossover. There is sattvic, so something like milk, if it was ethically treated, that sort of thing could be sattvic. But animal products sort of move into the rajasic, which is kind of the next one. Rajasic food tends to have a very strong energy, right? And it's things like animal products. Legs out in front. Take a deep breath, fold. Spices, things that get the body sort of heated up, right? And then tamasic food is food that is old, right? Very old, highly processed, so junk food, things that really don't have much in the way of food energy left, right? They've kind of been overused. All of that energy is gone by the time you get to eat it. So that pretty much covers a lot of what we see, people buying. So frozen foods, very highly processed foods, they just don't have a lot of food energy left. Bend the knee, we're going to hug it in. So there may be calories in there, right? It's going to keep you alive, but there isn't a lot of food energy. So it doesn't really support you much beyond just keeping you alive. Let's lower the knee. Bring that foot in by the thigh, sit up tall, and fold forward. So ideally, right, we're eating more in the sattvic range. So more fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, things that give you the best form of energy. Right? And then, we're still eating some cookies and some candy. That stuff that we know really has no particular nutritional information, but yet we eat it anyway. Right? Come on back up. And that's not to say, right, that you can never eat things like that. But we want to be aware, right, that they aren't. It's not the same food. Sitting up tall and folding down. Take a deep breath, fold forward. And that's, we can all know this from our own experience. If you have a period of time when you're eating a lot of food like that, your body will feel different. It's not a great feeling, right? You're alive, but you're not really thriving. You may feel very sluggish, very low. Come on back up. Take another breath. Fold forward. And then come on back up. Soles of the feet to the mat. We're lowering down. Take a few few breaths here. We'll hug the right knee in, extend the left. Lower the knee out to the side. And then back to center. And up on that left hip. Back to the mat and switch. So right leg long, left leg hugs in. Lowering. Back to the center and drawing that knee across the body. Back to center. And then let's extend both legs and get into a comfortable spot for your Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra, we do it in here. You can absolutely find Yoga Nidras on, so Insight Timer is the meditation app that I use, but there's lots of different ones. And I'm sure you can find Yoga Nidras on there, which will kind of walk you through that. You can also find different ones online. So you can kind of set that up to do Yoga Nidra whenever you want. It's a good thing, great thing if you're having trouble getting to sleep, or just getting relaxed, right? A lot of times we are carrying a lot of tension in the body, and getting into that relaxed state, so that your mind and consciousness can relax can be difficult. So Yoga Nidra can help. So we're going to move to this state of consciousness between wakefulness and sleeping. We're going to move the awareness to various body sensations. Try not to concentrate too intensely, because that will keep you from relaxing. Notice any sounds that you can hear just now. Focus on nothing but what you can hear without strain. Focus on those most distant sounds. Search out those distant sounds. Follow them for a few moments, moving attention from sound to sound without getting focused on the source. Then bring your attention to closer sounds, sounds that are nearby, maybe just outside your home. Sounds inside your home. And then maybe sounds inside the room. Visualize the four walls of your room, the ceiling, the floor, your body lying on the floor. Visualize the position of your body, your clothing, your hair, and your face. Focus on that existence of your physical being lying on the floor. Moving awareness to the breath, the natural and spontaneous breath moving in and out of your body without any effort. This natural breath moves in through both nostrils. Notice this feeling of the breath coming in and out. There is a sense of coolness as you inhale. Follow this feeling into your nose, your sinuses, the back of your throat, and down into the lungs. Notice a sense of warmth as you exhale. Feel the warmth on your upper lip as you're breathing out. This natural breath is moving through the body, and allow the breath to become longer and slower. We are taking a long, slow inhalation, followed by a longer, slower exhalation. Make that exhale even slower, and notice a slight pause after the exhale. Slow inhale, slower exhale, and a slight pause. When you need to inhale, please do so. It's a natural pause. We aren't holding the breath. We are simply bringing our awareness to that space in between the breaths. And now we're going to go back to the natural, easy breath, releasing any sense of control, over how we inhale or exhale. At this moment, we will make our sankalpa or resolve, a short, positive statement in simple language. Try to discover one naturally. See what pops into your mind. State this sankalpa clearly and with awareness 3 times. This sankalpa and resolve, it plants a seed during the Yoga Nidra that will grow. Say to yourself, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am awake and relaxed. Now, let's begin a journey of awareness throughout the body. Moving our awareness to different parts of the body as you hear them named. You can say this name to yourself and feel that part of the body, but don't move. Just be still. The practice begins on the right side. Right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, thigh, knee, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Moving to the back of the body. Right heel, left heel. Right calf, left calf. Right thigh, left thigh. Right buttock, left buttock. Lower back, middle back, upper back, the entire spine, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, back of the head, top of the head, forehead, right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, middle of the eyebrows, right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip, lower lip, both lips together, chin, jaw, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, upper abdomen, navel, lower abdomen, right groin, left groin, the pelvic floor, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, the whole face, the whole head, the whole torso, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body. Let a sensation of complete calm envelop you. Manifest the experience of calm in your entire mind, body, and emotions. You are relaxed and aware, completely calm. Let's repeat the Sankalpa, that same statement made at the beginning of the practice, 3 more times. Come back to that sensation of the breath flowing in and out of your nostrils. Be aware of the breath. And be aware of the physical body, the sensations of lying on the mat. Your body is relaxed, lying on the floor. Feel the skin containing your body, the clothing, the mat, everything that is touching the body. Notice heaviness in the body, resting on the floor. Bring awareness to all of the places the body is touching the floor. The back of your heels, thighs, buttocks, shoulder blades, arms, hands, and head. Enjoy that sensation of just sinking into the mat. Keeping the eyes closed, we're going to visualize the surrounding room. Imagine where you are in the room and the other objects that are around you. Lie here quietly until you feel ready to begin to move. Start by slowly moving your hands and feet, taking your time. There's no hurry. And when you are sure you are fully aware and awake, open your eyes. Roll over onto your right side and stay here for a few more moments, breathing in and breathing out. Then make your way up to a seat. And we'll bring hands together. Breath in and breath out. Thank you for taking some time this morning to come to your mat and share yoga with me. I hope you have a very good Friday. Namaste. Okay, there you go. So we're not going to do meditation. I usually don't do meditation after Yoga Nidra because that is a lot of being calm and kind of being in a meditative state. So I don't think we need to do more. But if you want to, you can, for sure. Or maybe save it for later today if you feel a little stressed or a little under pressure. Give yourself 5 minutes. Set a timer and do your practice. It's just 5 minutes. I'm amazed at how fast 5 minutes goes when you're watching TV as opposed to when you're doing meditation. But it literally is gone in a moment's time. So it doesn't take much. All right. Well, enjoy your Friday. I'll be back tomorrow. If I don't see you then, because I know not everybody does practice on Saturday, then I'll also be back Monday. But enjoy your day. It is supposed to be 47, so I'm almost getting my 50-degree day. So I'm definitely going to be outside for a bit. I hope you get a chance to be outside too. All right. See you tomorrow.